Good afternoon on this Monday, July 2nd. As we can see based on the latest Hurricane Center outlook, the Atlantic Basin remains quiet, but we do have an area under investigation to the south of Mexico in the eastern Pacific. They are designating this feature as having a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation within the next 48 hours. Turning to the latest surface map, we can see the tropical wave with a 1009 millibar associated surface low approaching 100 degrees west longitude, while much of the remainder of the tropics remain quiet, with only a weak tropical wave approaching 45 degrees west. On satellite, we're looking very good in the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea, and that aforementioned tropical wave approaching 45 degrees west is void of hardly any shower and thunderstorm activity. We can see the reason why on the water vapor. There's just a lot of very dry mid to upper level air, and so therefore no development is anticipated. The only feature that is organizing is the one located in the eastern Pacific, where shower and thunderstorm activity is still somewhat disorganized, but we have seen an increase in the overall trend of organization within the past 24 hours. Wind shear values are not terrible across the Atlantic Basin, but it's more so the dry air that will be an inhibiting factor over the next week or so. But into the eastern Pacific, there's a little bit more in the way of moisture, and the upper level conditions out ahead of that system are also favorable. The good news is that even if development were to occur in the eastern Pacific within the next 48 to 72 hours, there is unanimous model agreement between both the tropical models and the dynamical models that the system would continue west-northwestward away from Mexico. The latest 6-day forecast from the CMC model shows the first eastern Pacific disturbance continuing west-northwestward, with a potential second development occurring within the next 5 to 6 days. Much like the CMC, the GFS model is also continuing to take the initial eastern Pacific low westward and away from land, and by day 7 it also has the second developing tropical storm to the south of Mexico. The European model is also keeping any tropical mischief to the south of Mexico over the next 5 to 6 days, and like the CMC and GFS, it's also latching on to that second development, and that will be something that we will be taking a closer look at, as this is more so in the extended range, so therefore the forecast track of that system is a bit more uncertain. Elsewhere, it looks as though the Atlantic Basin will remain quiet. Meanwhile, the Madden-Julian oscillation is forecast to remain relatively weak while in Octant 2 for the next 5 to 10 days, and thereafter some of the ensembles take the MJO back into the favorable Octants 1 and 8 by the middle and latter half of July, so we'll wait and see on that. But if some of these solutions were to be correct, then we could see improving conditions once again for tropical activity before the end of the month. So that's all we have for this afternoon. Keep it tuned to the Hurricane Tracker app and 28storms.com for more updates.